All right, back here at the bottom of the hour with breaking news. Just to keep you updated, if you're just joining us, Politico is reporting a leak from the Supreme Court, which indicates that Roe versus Wade is about to be overturned, potentially. Roe was decided in 1973, gave women the constitutionally protected right to an abortion. Prior to that, abortion was decided by individual states. At the time, back in 1973, about 30 of the 50 states in this country prohibited abortion entirely. You couldn't get one at all. This decision, if it stands, is in response to the Mississippi lawsuit prohibiting abortion after the 15th week of pregnancy, another one of those heartbeat bills you've been seeing, which says you can't get an abortion after a fetus would be viable. You can only get an abortion before a fetus has viability outside the mother's womb. It's a law that was designed to be a challenge to Roe versus Wade, or actually I would say it's the heartbeat is what they were going for with the 15-week. The viability, I think they maintain is a little bit later than that. The left, regardless of how you look at it, is going insane over this story. Senator Raphael Warnock, as a pro-choice pastor, which is an interesting phrase in itself, I've always believed that a patient's room is way too small for a woman, her doctor, and the U.S. government. I'll always fight to protect a woman's right to choose, and that will never change. On the other side, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene firing back. There is no pastor ordained by God that would support killing God's creation in the womb. You're a liar, a fraud, and a wolf in sheep's clothing. Shame on you. Two enemies there in the same state. Here to react is former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. And, sir, thank you for coming on. Obviously, we saw these bills being created. They were going in defiance of Roe versus Wade. It was all going to be a fight. We saw this potentially coming, but what an explosive story.
It's an incredible story, Rob. And a couple of things I think we ought to really make sure people understand. Number one, if the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade, it does not outlaw abortion. That's one of the big lies of the left. So they keep telling that. I want to use that term, and I want to use it with emphasis, the big lie, because that's what the left has tried to say about a lot of things that conservatives have talked about, and they call it the big lie. Well, this is a big lie to say that it would overturn it. The second thing, for someone inside the Supreme Court to leak this information with the intent to affect the outcome of a Supreme Court decision, isn't that insurrection? Isn't that an attempt to overthrow the very government agencies that we're supposed to respect and honor? And this is not some person who just got all overheated from listening to a talk radio show and drove to D.C. This is a person that the taxpayers pay, who has the position, most likely of an attorney, knew better, did it anyway, for personal reasons. That's insurrection. Let's not let them get off the hook with those two words.
It is a wild story, and you made the perfect point in the beginning that they are. I mean, we've already seen it on MSNBC. We played Rachel Maddow saying that they're on the verge of making abortion illegal in this country. No, all this does is kick it back to the states. And if you're in a blue state, this ain't going to change much at all. And if you're in a red state, it could change things dramatically. That's how I see it.
It's exactly right. You're 100% correct. In some states, there may be more abortions than there have been in the past. In other states, there won't be any. And isn't that the way the whole idea of America is supposed to work, that states make decisions based on their elected representatives? The decision at the Supreme Court in 1973 was fundamentally flawed because it was an activist court that legislated from the bench rather than to say, this is an issue that states are going to have to decide, but they're going to have to do it by the elected representatives of the people. That's who has to make this decision. And then they would step away. But no, the Supreme Court jumped in the middle, and 62 dead babies later, we've got this mess on our hands.